You will always be poor unless you understand and execute on this one principle. I'm Richard. I'm an 8-figure entrepreneur that enjoys eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my wife and kids every single day. We live on an island in the Caribbean, and I hated being poor. I'm willing to bet that you do too. So let's get after it. So look, today I want to explain a phenomenon that plagues humanity. It literally entraps people into chains and keeps them in poverty. I call it the unnatural appetite inflation. The challenges that you're facing right now are stemming out of your unnatural appetite inflation. Let me explain what I mean by that. In the early stages of life, we probably lived very modestly. College, high school, $50,000 felt like a lot of money, and we did a pretty good job with that amount of money. Now, you're only going to take home about 38 if you're making 50, but somehow you managed to not go bankrupt. You managed to spend less than what you made, right? So if you're taking home about 38, you were probably only spending about 35. Somehow you found a way to do this. You told yourself at that time that you weren't making much money, and so therefore you had an excuse or a reason to not be saving cash or creating a financial cushion. Maybe you saved $2,500 and then used it to go on vacation. Okay. But somehow, some way, you find a way to make it a whole year. You didn't go bankrupt, and you only had about $38,000 to do it with. In the future, you start making a little bit more money. Let's say you get up into the $200,000 range. All right. Well, that basically translates to you bringing home about $140 after taxes. Nice little hit there. But all of a sudden, what happens? What happens naturally without even knowing it? Your expenses rise to match what you're making. All of a sudden, you're spending $138,000. That's $100,000 more than what you were spending prior. Now, maybe inflation took some of that. Granted, that's possible, but it didn't take all of it. Your expense level, your appetite has inflated because now the lie that you tell yourself is different from the previous lie. The lie you're telling now is that your situation has improved, but it was really hard to get there. I was poor for so long. Now I deserve to enjoy a few of these freedoms in my life. I'd like to have a few of the nicer things, if you know what I mean. Like, I see this all the time. People lacking the discipline to control their expenses and create cash surplus. Notice that this person actually created less cash surplus. They made $100,000 more, and their cash surplus went down. Jeez. Now, if you don't think this is happening to you, think back to when you were 20 years younger. What were you spending your money on? Probably some foolish things, yes, but you were not spending all of it, or you'd be bankrupt, and you were definitely spending less than what you're spending right now. Now, why is that? It's the unnatural appetite of inflation. It's your appetite. It's not the market. It's not anybody else. It's your appetite. Your appetite has changed because you believe you're making more money. But what happens? We get that credit card. We get that $100,000 limit on it. We start putting a few things on it. And all of a sudden, we're spending exactly the same percentage that we were prior. It's not magic. It's the unnatural appetite of inflation. This is not magic. This is the unfortunate truth of humanity. So listen, here's what you need to think about. I want you to think about the expense load equation. If you don't know what the expense load equation is, go check out this video somewhere right here and watch that video after you finish this one, of course. Check out that, and then I want you to write down what your expense load equation number is, okay? And here's your target. Your target is to get that expense load equation to 50%. And in short, that just means that your expenses are 50% of your income. Not 100%, not 98%, 50%. 50%. Minimum. That's the starting point. Okay. So if you want to get out of this trap, create a financial cushion, get your expense load under 50%, and then start stacking cash so that you can have a cushion. Once you have a cushion, then you need to invest into improving your marketable skills. Do that with mentorship, training, guidance, coaching. Get some information, get some knowledge, and put it inside of you. Nobody can take that from you. But don't do this until you address this appetite of inflation that is in front of you and you get your expense load percent down to the 50% level. You've got to get these two things under control. And if you want to increase your income, the best way to do that is to start a business. Increasing your income first can start in your job, but there's going to be a time when you can't move past a certain level in your job. To do that, to get out of that little ceiling that you've created, you've got to start a business. You've got to do something that has an incredible amount of potential in the marketplace. There is no cap for income earning on a business owner. Zero. The income level is limitless. So if you change this mindset, if you change this appetite inflation and you reorganize it to where you have at least 50% expense to income ratio, maybe even less, but minimum 50% expense to income ratio, then you can start renegotiating how this world treats you. Hey, listen, if you found this content valuable, then take action right now. One micro action that you can take is to smash the like button and sub to the channel. In this channel, I show you exactly what I do every day to create more time and income so that my family has more options. Options that I honestly never dreamed about growing up. I do this by building durable businesses that create monthly cash flow and are sellable. Most importantly, they allow me to live wherever I want to live and do what I want to do with my time, energy, and resources. If you want to see the step-by-step of how I do exactly that, then click the link below and I will show you everything that I've done to get where I am today.